So are you seeing the slides? Are they visible to you?
Yes, Mr.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So actually, we were talking about the number 5, and we started the discussion defining the operating systems and the utility programs. We keep going on from the same place. For now, actually, we have a first understanding that the operating systems, there are versions, distributions, that they have a compatibility with specific hardware, and they deliver different functionalities to the end users. We saw the command line interface-based operating systems. We talked about the DOS, disk operating systems. We said that they are Microsoft-based, and they are the first versions that the Microsoft has released to the community, commercialized since the 1985 until the early 90s. Then after we had actually the Windows 7 and Windows 95 and Windows 98 as distributions with graphical interfaces. Later on came new versions and new distributions. The Windows New Technology, actually, it has been introduced with the 32-bit based processors. Means it is an enhancement in hardware and software, both. Also, it has been actually presented with the distribution 2000. According to the year, it is nominated by the year here, Windows 2000, because it has been released at the year 2000. This distribution has been replaced with the Windows XP, actually, which is an amelioration to the Windows New Technology and the Windows 2000s. Usually you talk about ameliorations. It's not only nominations. Yes, nominations, they are different, but everyone had come with the new features. The XP has replaced this 2000 and the Millennium, the Windows Millennium. Those are two graphical, they are actually introduced at the late, the Millennium actually since 98, since the year 1998 has been introduced, but this one has been introduced late 99. Windows Vista, actually it has been released at the early 2000, yet it is replacing the XP since its release. The features actually that this Vista has introduced to us has pushed to a new release, which is the Windows 7, the late 2009. This Windows 7 has replaced all the Windows Vista and Windows XP and all. They kept actually operating this operating system, and they produced different versions amongst the same distribution as same Windows 7. They are dedicated to home users, for us as end users, students, teachers, and home activities. It is said to be a home premium distribution. And another one for businesses, which is actually dedicated to the professional activities. There are others, but we have to understand that based on the activity intended to do with the distribution, there is a specific one. There is a specific distribution. Yes. This actually operating system, the Windows 7, has introduced a feature which is the virtual folders. The virtual folders, it's a context of letting the end users visualize and see their recent used folders and files in different locations where they are located. Just to make you understand what is a virtual folder, it is something actually that looks similar to this interface. You see some folders and some files, which they are not actually located at this exact location here. You have to do a right click and see actually to open the folder, the file in the original location. Virtualization, or not virtualization. It's not the virtualization, but it's the context of virtualizing the display of the folders and files. It's an easy task. It's just to bring your life actually a new and easy service. Windows 8 was an amelioration of the Windows 7, through which actually we are able to see a very clear enhancement to the Windows 7 based on the tiles and the start screen, in addition to the Sham bar or Shams bar, in addition to other features actually. I did not talk about the feature that the Vista has presented to us, which is the IO interface. It is something actually that pushes us to see from background, means actually the window that we open, we can see through the title bar or some parts from the interface, we can see hidden content from background. And we can swap in between windows using shortcuts from the keyboard. This is actually the IO interface feature. Good. This Windows 8 also has presented other enhancements, like the start screen and the tiles we can utilize. Those are the tiles. And the Shams bar. This is the Shams bar. Actually, it hosts 5 icons, which are very handy and useful utilities that we may refer to actually better explore the operating system. So we can use those available utilities whenever we need. You just pass the mouse over. Windows Server is another distribution. We were talking about the Windows distributions so far, dedicated to personal computers. The Windows Server is another version of the operating system that the Microsoft has delivered, but it is dedicated to professional activities, designed and configured to and set to serve actually works remotely and to control activities remotely and to be the master within Windows-based networks. Means the Windows Server is an operating system, yes, true, if I ask you this question. And what does it do? It does the same task as an operating system that you know on a personal computer, in addition to the tasks of administration and management. It is a server because it serves. And the context of serve in here is to do controlling and management activities on computer networks. And they are actually, per first view, they have to be actually Windows-based networks, but we have the other exceptions, and they can control other computers than the Windows-based operating systems. There are distributions. The very famous one for now, for our age, was actually, for now, especially 2019, the latest distribution. But at the age of the writing of this book, it was the 2012 distribution, the very famous one. As I said, actually, it is an operating system, and it can act as a regular operating system. You can use the server to serve the internet. You can use the server to open a Word document. You can use the server to make any spreadsheet or any desk activity. So it is an operating system. If you are going to utilize the server for a need or necessity, yes, you can do that. But remember, its task is not to do an office activity or a home activity. Its task is to serve. And the serve here, and the context of serve in here, is to do a management and control on remote devices based on a computer, a Windows-based computer network. Other operating systems, completely, it's not a distribution here. You are talking about a different provider, which is the Apple company. We talk about the Macintosh operating systems, Mac OSs, Mac operating systems. Mac is a shortcut for Macintosh. It's a company, it's a provider. It's another kind of operating systems. This operating system, or this list of distributions of operating systems, they are built on the basis of the Unix operating systems. Means the core operating system of the Macintosh is a Unix operating system. So they use the Unix to bring a different view, a different preview, a different outcome, and they're giving him the name MacOS, Macintosh operating systems. There are distributions, and there are different distributions even. We annotate them to be macOS X because at the date of the book, actually, the latest version was released at that time is the macOS 10, and the prior ones, they are macOS 1, macOS 2, macOS 3, macOS 4, and so on. So they are annotating them with X. macOS what? macOS 1, macOS 2, macOS 3, and so on. So the X here actually to replace the distribution number. And the same way, the Macintosh has its own server. It is another distribution. It is an operating system that does the server activity, which is the context of the controller management, but based on the Mac product, macOS X server. And preview of the Mac interface, macOS interface. At the end of the day, we see a graphical interface somehow similar to the Windows interface. See the dock? Actually, it's an like the taskbar in the Windows. It holds the active and a shortcut to different applications that you may utilize inside the computer. Those are actually icons, the dots we see here. They are icons to utilities and software applications inside the computer. Those are windows. And this is actually a menu bar that you can refer to. And it changes the content of this menu, changes based on the window you open in first plan, in first view. So in this case, the view of this browser here, it is actually having a menu here. So the menu here, it is to control this window, and so on. So whenever you open a window, the menu is to give options for that particular window. Third family of operating systems is the Unix base. Unix actually, it's very old, and it's one of the very famous and very actually old in age. It's not old in capabilities, but it's old here. I mean by that it is one of the very first known and admitted operating systems, admitted in business and in personal activities even. It is actually at that time based on the command line interfaces. So it is actually to be utilized through commands only. So it is only not enhancing the multitasking at that time, but by the time it has enhanced that, and we can see actually a graphical interfaces for different Unix distributions, and you can see the multitasking enhanced based on the use of the Unix distributions also. And nowadays we can see distributions that they are actually competing to be as good as the Microsoft operating systems, Mac operating systems. So we are having a very user-friendly interfaces that the Unix operating systems distributions provide to us. And this Unix, actually, it is not on the base of any other distribution. It is actually standalone environment. Means actually it has its own group of libraries to deliver all the functionalities that we may utilize within the Unix environment. Any questions here? On the basis of the Unix operating systems, there is a distribution nominated Linux. Actually, this Linux, it's an operating system related to a developer. It's an Italian one named Linus Torvalds. Actually, it is this this Linux has been generated at the year 1991, and it is on the basis of the Unix only. So using the Unix core libraries, a person called Linus has developed an operating system and given him the name Linux. Up to date, it's one of the very famous and successful operating systems, the Linux. Originally, it was a command line based operating system, but nowadays it is actually giving us graphical user interfaces. So we may utilize this Linux operating system with this variety of distributions through through graphical user interfaces. So we can utilize, like if we are utilizing the Windows, to use the internet, to use document file, or to use the any editor, it is based on the graphical user interfaces. So it provides us a rich experience with the graphical interfaces. One extra information I want to tell you about this Linux, and also it is for the Unix, also, is that they are open source and free system software. The Linux is an open source and a free system software. The Unix also is an open source and free system software. What does it mean? It means that they are actually available to public, free of charge, and open source means you can, if you have the skills, you can modify its content, its codes, in order to make him act the way you wish. Open source. You can modify the source code, the structure of the operating system, whether the Linux or the Unix. And as a proof to that, when we define the MacOS, we said that it is on the base of the Unix. What does it mean? Means the company, the Macintosh company, they used the Unix operating system core libraries, and they made modifications accordingly to get a different operating system, and they nominated it MacOS. So they used Unix. How? Because the Unix is an open source. So they can reach the code and they can modify the content to make him act accordingly. This is for both the Unix and the Linux. An example interface of the Linux. This is actually a Ubuntu operating system. It's a graphical. It's Ubuntu. It's a graphical view of the desktop and some applications that we can see from within the Linux environment. He actually is a proof that the multitasking is enhanced with Linux. What does mean multitasking? It means we can open more than one window. We can open more than one application at the same time. And we can use one every time. We can swap from here to here and from here to here, and so on. Ubuntu. Enhancements and amelioration of system software does not stop at the genuine and licensed operating systems, which are the Microsoft-based, the free and open source operating systems, which are the one based on the use of Unix, which are the Unix, the Linux, the MacOS. But other enhancements we can see to bring us new operating systems to use the cloud. A new terminology now we see. What is the cloud? Actually, we defined what is a computer network, and at that time, unit number 1, we discussed the context of the cloud, and we said that it is a symbol of, it's a kind of computer network, but has different specificities. Amongst of them, the disaster recovery, the fault tolerance, the high availability, and functions actually to be given remotely. Means actually all the activities we know on a computer network, they are available, but they are 100% remote. We are not going to talk about activity on a network. Mainly here we talk about the cloud. Cloud network and local. You know, it has to have the feature to be remote somehow, because you can build actually the same specificities that the cloud can provide us in local. But as per the definition of the cloud network, it is to be actually a network to deliver some specific features, 100% talking about the disaster recovery, fault tolerance, and the high availability, fault tolerance, things like that. Actually, we discussed that the use of services at unit number 1 on the cloud, they are actually you use as per your need, and you pay per your need. Whatever you use, you pay for it. If you don't use, you don't pay. This is one of the concepts that the cloud provides us. The same way, using an operating system on the cloud will push the user to pay as per his use only. He will not pay a license when he's not using. So he will pay only accordingly to what he uses. An example of an operating system that is operated on the cloud, the Chrome OS. This Chrome OS actually it is yes, it is one of the operating systems that we can find on the cloud networks provided by the cloud providers, and it is giving us actually all the activities we know mainly, and it will enhance actually the access to web resources. It is designated to run on the cloud to facilitate the access to web resources. Since the cloud is a web-based actually solution only, and this is actually one of the solutions to replace the habitual and the traditional desk activities, desktop operating systems. You need only a machine to lead you, to take you, to reach, to make you reach, to access the cloud, and from then the cloud operating system, as per an example here, the Chrome OS will take action. Are you able to hear me?
Yes,
Is
Mr.
the voice reaching you?
Yes,
Yes,
Mr.
good. Any questions up to here?
No, Mr.
Okay, we'll keep going on. The integration of the operating systems, it is not only to provide personal computers, but ameliorations and the availability of the operating systems led us to see different distributions within different platforms. The embedded operating systems, we presented this context at the beginning. Actually, smart devices we utilize nowadays, and we are carrying with us wherever we go, smart mobiles. Why they are dedicated this word being smart? Because of the back of functions that those devices provide us as end users. And those functions, they are mainly due to the built-in and the integrated operating system, the mobile operating system they utilize. They are utilizing. The same way, smart cars, they are one of the views that the technology brings to us nowadays. It's actually your car or the car you utilize would be actually acting as smart as it can be. Yes, it can be actually in terms of it can or not. Yes, it can be. And this is due to what? Due to the group of electronics it is equipped with. And the group of electronics, the electronic activities that can give you alerts and services and notifications and let's say assistance, they are due to an embedded operating system. Whatever the activities are, the GPS, it has to run on an operating system. To tell you what is the weather outside, the temperature outside, it is a function from the operating system. It is an activity to run on an embedded operating system. Actually, the APS, electronic, let's say, ESP, sorry, the electronic stockholder program, any service we may utilize inside the car, it is due to an embedded operating system. And this embedded system would help and assist the variety of tasks and services to be delivered to the end user, which is the car user. Thus, we are talking about smart car. All the features you know that a car can provide, it is a service running on top of an embedded operating system. We talk about embedded OS. Sorry, typo. Embedded OS. So the embedded OS will help the end users have the benefit of a variety of services to say that the car is smart enough. This is it. The mobility actually is one of the features that the operating systems enhance. What does it mean? We know actually at the early ages of the computers, the operating system, they enhance the connectivity to a computer network using a wire-based work. Yet, mobiles came, and before the mobiles, the laptops, they came. The laptops, they have the capability, the hardware, they have the capability to be connected to external environments wirelessly. So here the OS has to enhance such feature. What is it? To send and transmit data through the wireless medium. Means if the computer is able to connect to a network wirelessly, the operating system has to have the chance to share and receive data through the wireless medium. He does not have to wait for the wire-based network to communicate. No, but using the wireless also has to have the chance to communicate data. Communicate means to send and receive through the wireless channel. The distributions actually from Microsoft, so they are compatible with mobile devices. They are specific. It means actually Microsoft has developed specific operating systems for a specific hardware. I give the example. The Windows RT actually is designated for tablet use, which is one of the Microsoft distributions, but it runs on tablets only. 9 inches or 11 inches or 13 inches, 15 inches. All of them, if they are Microsoft based, so they are equipped with a Windows RT operating system. The embedded OSs, they are actually for let's say not for personal use, but they are for industrial activity. When you talk about the car, to be smart and so it is equipped with an embedded system, you would not be, as an end user, utilizing the operating system. But you are going to use the services through the operating system, this embedded operating system. Thus, this embedded operating system is for industrial activities only, to equip the car with the operating system. Then, on top of that, you as an end user can add services or use services. Remember, for the embedded, it's not for personal use. It's not for personal activities. The very famous, let's say, kind of open source operating system nowadays is the Android. Why I use the word open source? Because it is on the basis of the Unix operating system. This, let's say, mobile operating system, it is an open source, and it is said to be free, but it is from Google only. So the owner is the Google company itself, and it is designated to run on different mobile devices, whether they are actually smartphones or tablets or notebooks even. They are capable to be filled with different distributions from this brand or this operating system, this mobile operating system. At the date of writing this book, the Android available is the version actually 4.3. But actually, the release 9.2 has been released since nowadays. The 9.2 has been actually released since disappeared. So we are expected to have a new distribution in the near future. This type of operating system, it enhances the wireless connectivity, yes, and it is equipped with other features and other technologies, like the NFC, near field connectivity. Means if you are using a specific Android operating system, this Android operating system might recognize the nearby similar operating systems. Means my device will detect other devices nearby. Due to what? To the NFC technology that this Android operating system enhances. Near field communication means actually to get connected and share data at a near range using integrated technology, not the internet, not the Wi-Fi, no, but direct point to point, mobile to mobile, near field communication. And at the end of the day, it is just enhancing the mobile activity, the mobile functions, the regular mobile functions. Previous. I'll stop at this level. I'll stop the recorder and play the time. Please give your name then, yes?